We are live. Buy, sell, hold, or buy, sell, or fold. That is the big question after the market drops today. If you watch this video to the end, you will have a complete understanding of cryptos you should keep, cryptos you should hold, and cryptos you should sell and never look back. I am your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and if the content works for you, hit the like button. Okay, let's talk about what happens. PPI comes in hot, assuming there are any accurate economic numbers coming from Uncle Sugar. There hasn't been in 2 years. I don't know why anyone thinks this is different. Now, that said, we're building out AI data centers. Big tech companies are going to borrow collectively $1 trillion, and we are going to build. So if PPI runs a little hot, I mean, how are you going to spend $1 trillion to build stuff and not have PPI be a little hot? The real issue is, what kind of prices can consumers pay because of the lack of job growth? Well, we already had that number. And then PPI comes in hot. The dollar allegedly goes up. You can't even see it on the chart. And then, of course, people get overextended in crypto, massive, insane FOMO, and then boom. Which in reality is just the pause that refreshes. Right? And it's a little juice cleanse. $420 million liquidated at the Binance, perp casino. It's perfect, right? Everybody in, everybody out, and then you'll have everybody back in again, particularly if you don't see follow through on this dip. Now, if you do see follow through on the dip, it's probably a 3-day. Right? In other words, there was a 1-day dip, everyone ignored it, market went straight up. Then there was another 1-day dip and everybody ignored it and the market went straight up. Now everybody thinks this could be a 1-day dip. It might be, right? But if it lasts for 3 days, people are going to get hysterical. Everyone's going to get stopped out. And then everyone's going to look around and go, what was the problem again? Listen, we're building data centers. We have a headline here from a Bitcoin miner, I think, TeraWulf, who does this huge deal with Google to provide data centers and processing power. That's why inflation, if the numbers are accurate, that's why it runs hot. That's it. So everyone FOMOs in, retail searches Ethereum on Google. Boom. And of course, I have another... Regrettably and fortunately, it's both fortunate and I was like, uh-oh. But very fortunately, I have been named one of the micro influencers of the year. So the category has 4 winners, and yours truly and the Market Update Nation is named as one of those winners. As you can see here, the gray or the silver is the Market Update Nation. And we got slightly more than Blonde Broker, who is a very respectable individual with 130,000 Twitter followers. So, Market Update Nation, we are the champions. Just win, baby. Just in time for the market to go to zero. So, no, I'm kidding. But I knew it. I was like, row. Right, because that's the effective of getting a lampshade on your head, right? And believe it or not, I confirmed with the guy because I saw a Blonde Broker with, the belt in Vegas. We do get a championship, like UFC style belt for this. So, Market Update Nation, there's no channel without you, and we salute you. Me, the Eagle King, and Toby. More about Toby later from the YouTube member area. Okay. Will the real Scott Bessent and will the real Bitcoin Strategic Reserve please stand up? So Bessent saying we're going to have a reserve. Then he's saying we're not buying Bitcoin. unless it's budget neutral. Cynthia Loomis, the senator, says, yeah, budget neutral sounds good, but homie, we got 37T to pay off. So maybe we should get busy. And I don't know what happened to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Although the Orange Man wants to do it via M&A, he wants a big stake in Intel. So Intel hasn't exactly had good management over the years, and they do produce chips. So if Uncle Sugar wants to make sure we have enough chips, particularly if there's a problem in Taiwan, let's buy Intel and let's make chips. You know what? To be honest, I knew there was M&A coming, mergers and acquisitions. I just didn't think it was chips. But I do think mergers and acquisition is coming to crypto because, again, this company TeraWulf announces this idea and the stock just goes completely parabolic. It goes up like 50% in one day. So if something good happens to a crypto company or in the crypto world, stonks are going up more than crypto. Everyone's all wound up about PPI. Stonks are like, meh, they don't care. We just got over our skis. We got too long. And then, they know where the stops are. That's the thing about the Binance Casino, right? Binance, Kraken, Galaxy Digital, all of these over-the-counter desks, they know where the stops are. Everyone gets in the pool. They throw the toaster in, and they hoover up everybody's crypto. It's the oldest trick in the book. $420 million in liquidations. Now, meanwhile, back at the macro ranch, there are some developments that people are not quite paying attention to. So everyone is in love with the M2 Bitcoin graph because, again, we have a lot of macroeconomic experts and, economics PhDs now on Twitter. I'm not sure if you've heard, but there are two other metrics that I would like to pay attention to. One of them is the creation of stable coins. And there's no point in even creating a graph because the graph looks like that, right? It's just like straight up. That's one thing no one's looking at. The second thing no one's looking at is the amount of printing going on in China. In other words, we can't buy a house over here, and over there, they can't sell one. Their commercial property market is a debacle, right? And now the Chinese government is asking companies to go in and start buying homes. So in the United States, we have this absurd problem. We have BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street paying cash for single-family homes, keeping housing prices way above where there should be, given people's ability to buy houses. And in China, they have to print because, again, no one's got any money over there. So these companies are getting printed money to buy houses, right? They have to print just to hold up residential real estate, not just commercial real estate. So you have the Chinese printing and the Japanese. I don't even know if they can print their way out of the problems they have with their bond market. So you have these huge economic entities just, it is happening. It is absolutely happening, right? And, in the United States, the Federal Reserve's existence is a function of what happens in capital markets. In other words, they can leave rates at 4%. They can pretend or assume, or maybe it's accurate that inflation is at 3%. All right, that's all fine, but as long as capital markets don't go down, right? In other words, he has rates too high and capital markets start falling out of bed, the Fed as an institution is done. Which is why, all these things, printed money, standard volatility and stop running, it makes for a big, beautiful dip. We'll go over the DeMark charts. Frankly, this was everywhere, which is why I had to stay up in the middle of the night. Patreon, both the middle tier, which is this piece, and the platinum tier, which is this piece. the buy and sell list, don't hate me. Okay. In other words, there were some coins on there. I'm not gonna kid you. Radium was on the first list from the model. And I'm like, you know what? Let's have the model that checks the model recompute that. Because if I had to get on here and say sell radium, well, you know, that's just, yeah, people are going to start throwing rocks at me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't say radium. But there were other coins where I was like, hey, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Don't ever touch it again. One of or two of them were kind of a surprise. Cardano was, Cardano was like, sell. The other model was like, meh, neutral. You know, so some of these layer ones that got overexcited, then there are other layer ones that did nothing, which, you know, I've talked about some of them, but they were very clear. The model was very clear what they are. So if you haven't joined Patreon, the links are down below. And the Eagle King, when he comes in, will no doubt flash the QR code, right, to get yourself over and become a Spartan in Patreon. Toby covered a lot of it this morning in the YouTube member podcast. You know, everyone was like all, you know, in like, everyone's screaming about the dip. Toby's like, come talk to me if it's 20% down. Okay. So you have buy, sell, and hold, because nobody publishes a sell list. Nobody. If broker dealers do in stocks, nobody publishes a sell list in crypto, because that's always the big question. When should I sell? Okay. In the middle of the night, last night, for the Spartans. Okay. Speaking of FOMO that you want to be careful of, Binance's blog, written by B Master by Smart, a very attractive individual, foresees XRP at $1,000, driven by global demand and shrinking supply. Okay, so XRP can be $1 trillion entity. We've discussed this. Ripple can take over, get taken over. We've discussed this. However, when Binance opinion people start talking about XRP at $1,000, and I'm getting a championship belt and a lampshade on my head, I'm like, oh my God, this thing's going to get smacked, right? And that's what happens, right? You know, if you look, if a bunch of guys on YouTube are like, yeah, XRP is going to $1,000, that's fine, right? Because I mean, that's just the XRP army. Like when the Binance research department starts talking about that, it's like, okay, watch out. Okay. Now, BlackRock continues to indiscriminately hoover up ETH. Nobody wants to buy the Magnificent Seven. They are spending money like there is no tomorrow. So I don't even know how they're going to maintain their earnings if they're borrowing $1 trillion. There is no way those stocks are going to give you the type of returns that they have been. It's not happening. Okay. But, you know, second biggest inflow on record for the Ethereum ETF. You know, at ETH 2000, the ETH ETF was radioactive, but with ETH at 4,800, it's a must add to my Schwab portfolio. Okay. You know what, folks? Again, if they love it, they got to buy the dip, right? It's not a bull market until you can buy a dip and make money, particularly if it's a nasty dip. I mean, you know, we were looking at stuff this morning for small caps. We were doing banter bubbles because that's part of what we do in the YouTube member podcast, where, you know, we just kind of kick butt and take names. And Toby Ward tells you, you know, the small caps. You know, there were a lot of small caps that are still down over the last month. And Toby picked a bunch of them. She picks what's down. She's kind of like a value investor in these small cap coins. And a lot of them are either DeFi. Well, I can't tell you. She gets upset and I get smacked with the goddess sandal. You're just going to have to watch the show. But there were a lot of cryptos that are still down, and this market gets monkey hammered for 3 days. Oh my God, it's going to be Christmas. Because if we get monkey hammered on some PPI or anything that goes on with a government statistic is like baloney. You know, algorithms react to it like, oh, this is bigger than what the economists estimate. Like what? We're listening to an Uncle Sugar statistic made by Wall Street economists. That's like, I don't know. That's like the dumb leading the blind, or the corrupt leading the dumb. That's probably what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're going to sell crypto for more than one day on that. I don't know. But if they do, like I said, it's Christmas. And when you have these grotesque reversals, because believe me, folks, we do have some grotesque TA reversals. Make no mistake. So, but, you know, if buyers come in the next 3 days, it's going to be okay. Because remember, there is zero liquidity in these all markets for the next 2 weeks. Like Wall Street has left. They took their profits today in crypto and they have left. They are gone. So there's going to be absolutely no liquidity in crypto either way. So if the dip stops and it doesn't go down in any material way, the crypto heads are going to come back in. BlackRock is going to come back in and leave a couple guys on the desk and just start hoovering it up. Just indiscriminately. They don't care, right? Because they know the tech stock crowd is coming because ETH is still cheap. ETH has not made an all-time high yet. Bitcoin is like, I don't know, Bitcoin is 1x its all-time high. So when equities people look at this, they're like, oh my God, this is so cheap. I mean, I know I make fun of them, but yeah, they're going to look at this and be like, oh my God, this is so cheap. You know, how do we get a Solana ETF? This is not to mention, you know, normies are coming in on Coinbase. They're going to see Litecoin. They're going to see Solana at $200. They're probably going to be interested in Cardano. They're definitely going to be interested in XRP. I mean, I don't know, did they take XRP below $3 today? That's crazy banana pants. What is that about? Right? I mean, it's not going, it's like XRP is going to $1,000, but I don't want any at $3. What? Come on, people. Come on. Okay, so one big story about, you know, the PPI number is the dollar went up. Oh my God. Look, the dollar's up 40 basis points. It's not even up 1%. Give me a break, right? I'll go see the dollar go up and they sell Bitcoin or they sell gold. You know what? These computers can go get bent. They're ridiculous. It's so stupid, right? They trade everything when the number comes out and then they're done. And then the actual market participants come back in after the gymnastics, after people are stopped out. Really, it's all part of the lovely process. But it is the oldest trick in the book, right? It's like, oh my God, it's horrible, sell. Meanwhile, they're down there just taking everything from everybody, right? Michael Saylor, very simple. Volatility is a gift to the faithful, which, you know, means that Mike was probably able to get a bunch of liquidity around 122 or 123, and then the dealers smack it down to get their inventory back. So Mike loves dips. He loves it. And realistically, Bitcoin is in a range between 116 and 123. That's the range where all its volume has been transacted. They went down below 116. It looked like it was going to hell in a handbasket, and it just comes right back, right? And if they want to do it again, they can have fun. It didn't work the first time. I don't even know why they would try to do it again. Like maybe they run stops to 115, maybe. But again, they already did that. They already did that, right? And they want to push down, you know, they want to, you know, push Solana and XRP around. Folks, those coins, they never went up. They never went up, right? And ETH, okay, you did have some excessive FOMO in ETH, but it's been suppressed for years. So what? ETH goes up 2 weeks and everyone's like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Seriously, ETH underperformed Bitcoin for literally years. ETH looked like it was going to go to zero 4 months ago. And everyone's like, well, you know, that's it. 3-week rally, you know, okay, done. What? Look, no way. Okay, now maybe some alts in the ETH universe got a little stupid, which is why we have the buy-sell list. But like some guy noted this morning, like, you know, Aave's set and ready to go to $400. You know, what is everyone looking at here? Michael Saylor's like, hey, give me some Bitcoin. And who knows? Big boy may be the thing that leads everybody out. Toby Ward, you know, updated the upside target She first talked about 120 and then hang out. And then I said, hey, what's the new upside target? And she blurted that out. I was like, all right, well, I guess we can take questions from the audience after hearing that. That was kind of like a mic drop. So I don't know why everybody's getting all negative. Now, again, this deal with TeraWulf, okay, Wolf, ticker symbol WULF, is up like 50% today because Google came in and wants to do a deal with them because all these giant Bitcoin miners have huge energy. I mean, somehow they take the heat from the machines and they turn it into energy. Don't ask me how that works, but some of the miners can actually do that. Yes, they consume power, but they can also put out energy. I don't know what form it takes, but I know that Google and Web2 is calling everybody that they can call and be like, hey, can we do a data center deal? So I don't know if Wolf is converting from Bitcoin. I don't know what they're doing. All I know is that Web2 is going to spend indiscriminate amounts of money, because, you know, in their minds, there's only going to be one Skynet right now. Hopefully the guys at OpenAI get their act together, because, you know, I started using Chat GPT 5 and I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid. This must be used. This must be used for writing code. I don't know what it's being used for, but I'm like, I'm going back to Chat GPT 4 and Perplexity. So they got to get their act together too. I mean, they just, I don't know, man. I don't know if all smart people left for other Web2 companies, but they're paying any price for everything except crypto. Because what they don't realize, and what the general public doesn't realize, but BlackRock does, and Michael Saylor does, is AI and crypto are dual disruptors, as one thought leader says, my homie Jordy, right? AI is going to disrupt all of business. I mean, seriously, they're laying people off to get money to build these data centers, even though I'm saying there's like indiscriminate demand allegedly for what they have, yet they're laying people off. Something doesn't add up there. Whereas, you know what? Crypto adds up just fine, right? You have the orange man doing tariffs. You have the Fed as an institution. It's like a joke, right? You have the dollar losing status. You have no other fiat currencies to replace the dollar, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I heard some story today. I don't even know if this is true. I mean, I heard a story of like police. I don't know if they were like, you know, federal or national police, or whether they were like local police, sent female officers out jogging, which, you know, given the classic men behaving badly behavior, you know, I don't know. I guess you would call it a cat call or whatever. So, you know, joggers go by, men behaving badly. So they behaved badly, not nice. And they got busted. So they put the joggers out there knowing men would behave badly. And the joggers were like, hi, nice comment. And they got busted for that. Now, in the United States, if they arrested everybody for men behaving badly, well, first of all, there'd be nobody at Wall Street. Wall Street would be an empty ghost town. So, you know, gentlemen, let's all behave. Let's all be classy, okay? Because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're talking to, especially over there. And of course, you're absolutely never, ever going to get me off this privacy narrative. You want to know how I go from micro influencer of the year and I get on the big list? It's going to be this privacy thing. Like, supposedly Hester Pierce is out giving speeches, right, about privacy. Right? Quoting a famous privacy author, we cannot expect governments, corporations, or other large faceless organization to grant us privacy out of their beneficence or benevolence, whatever. I mean, this is one of the major US regulators, dropping that we want privacy. Now, the orange man's got to get these guys off, these Justice Department guys off this guy at Tornado Cash. Like, I mean, they're like New York federal people, federal prosecutors, and I guess they were there under Bowden. But, he's got to get off of this, and he's got to get Charlie Shrem a pardon too while he's at it. Because, ZK proofs, which, is a part of privacy, right? I'm not a technological genius, but I do know that, privacy in other markets is standard. And as I've discussed, right, you do a trade on Schwab with a broker, then the next person who calls doesn't know what you did, right? I mean, it's got to do with position sizing, and everyone's like, oh yeah, privacy is for pirates. No, it isn't. It's an organic part of crypto. It's going to be an organic part of elections. It's going to be an organic part of transacting in like the metaverse, right? I mean, we've talked about this. So, I mean, you're never getting me off antivirus. I mean, we're going to do a bigger program on this, but there's a 51% attack going on in Monero, led by a company that is backed by 2 Chinese venture capital companies. Like, this is a regular thing where Monero and their proof of work mining gets attacked. Gee, privacy making people upset. Sovereigns don't want you to have. We got promised the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. We got promised the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Where is it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they will tell you whatever you want to hear. And antivirus has got all this functionality, right? They have some of the stuff where, you can move ETH through the antivirus mixer and have privacy. More importantly, you can get like data products. Like, you can get a cell phone plan where you can get a bunch of data and, the whole world is not listening in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these devices transmit everything you say and do every night. As McAfee used to say, let them eat white noise. There are people out there that are not on your side. I mean, crypto is going up because crypto is disrupting that system, which is why everybody's all wound up about a 2-day dip. As Toby was like this morning, she's like, dude, shut up. Just don't even, it's like, don't even talk to me unless it's down 20%. Don't even talk to me about it. Cryptomania, should you buy more or sell everything? Okay, well, watch the show, get the new Bitcoin upside target, and that will pretty much just completely straighten you out in the event that you're all bent out of shape, right, as a result of today's correction. Okay, Wolf, the one chart market update. Okay, I talked about Web 2 coming into crypto. Okay, here they are. Not what I was thinking, but okay. Here's your accumulation cone, right? I'm always talking about these things, these upward sloping accumulation cones. And when you break out, it goes crazy banana pants. I mean, I realize Google's not going to go take over everybody's coin, but look, it's like when you got an upward sloping when you have an upward sloping accumulation cone, once it breaks out, crazy, right? And the whole crypto market looks like this. I mean, look, in Solana, everybody's all wound up today. Solana goes to 200 and, they smack it. Okay, fine. What impact has that had on the Solana cup and handle? Other than the fact that, as usual, with handles, they are super difficult, right? It's breaking out. Oh, it's not. Oh my God, it's going up. Down 7 days. Up 7 days. Smack, right? This is just the nature of the beast. So when they actually do break out of this thing, it's a monster. It's a monster, right? I mean, if you look at the DeMark work, right, for Solana, Yeah, and this is everywhere. And we discussed this, right? This is why I put out buy, sell, or hold in Patreon. Because when you have this 13 signal, basically that's going to lead to at least a one-day top. And that signal is everywhere, right? That signal is in ETH. ETH has the 13 and the 9. So, ETH could have either the pause that refreshes, a range between, 4,800 or 4,200, or it's just a one-day juice cleanse. That's it. You have it in big boy Bitcoin with the 13 and the 9 top, with the blow off top resistance at 124. So if you want to know why this stuff is down today, that's why. You even have it. Well, you don't have it on this XRP chart. Okay, but what is everybody all wound up about? I don't know. I mean, again, you do have the signal, I think, right? So here it is when XRP went to $3.40. You have the top, and I know nobody wants to hear this, but, if you actually got to move an XRP to 247, the chart would be perfect. It would be set up for $4 or $5. Now, I can't believe they can get this down here. I mean, really, really, like a new, local low. I don't know. That to me just seems completely stupid. I mean, how does XRP get below $3 and how does it even stay there? Right? So, okay, whatever. There's a 13 top. XRP has already kind of done its move. Sui is in the same position. It outperformed, then it underperformed, put the top in. There's a bunch of support at 340. What's the problem? I mean, the problem is you could have 3 down days. And the reason I say that is because of these 13 tops. Okay, you have a 13 top. Great. When it resets, it'll reset where you can have, 3 weeks of upside once this ends. I mean, I'm already looking, Big Rich is like, buy the dip, dude. I couldn't, the machine was going to sell radium. And I was like, bro, no way. Right. Sometimes you got to give the humans the benefit of the doubt. I'm not doing it. Now when you do see, there are some of these coins where the model was like, they see you. But there was other coins where the model was like, hey, hoover it in, right? Like Cardano kind of wound up neutral. Okay. But, the first model was like, no. But this is an accumulation cone. And I did discuss about one-day dips, about intraday dips, where, you would get hammered, right? Where you would get hammered. I hope I was sharing the screen during the DeMark. Okay. Basically, in DeMark, there are a lot of topping signals if I wasn't sharing. But I mean, this is Cardano going to its premium zone, breaking out of an accumulation cone, and is still up on the day. Now, again, Cardano is neutral. Cardano is neutral. And if I wasn't sharing on the DeMark, like I said, the most telling DeMark work was in Bitcoin, right? You had a 13 top and it extended to a 9 top. Everybody in, everybody going crazy. Boom. It's the same thing with ETH, right? This is about as extended as it gets, and they do a correction. So what? Right? Again, I know this is not, I don't like saying this in crypto because, we want crypto. People up at the top, they're very hopeful. They're like, hey, I want to make money. I want to participate. But these things can flush out people who got in late, right? Like the general public FOMOing into ETH at the top. Sometimes they have to purge those people out. But if they do, this is the other thing that market people say that's kind of funny. Well, it's very healthy. I don't think it's very healthy that people in crypto lose money who are very hopeful, but that is the legacy. That is the jargon, right? Because when you flush people out, once it turns around, you know, people are like, oh, I'm scared. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, am I going to get stopped out again? Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's a new high. And then everyone comes back in. So it allows the market to climb the wall of worry. And this market could dip for an afternoon or 3 days. I can tell by Big Rich. I can see the comments out of the corner of my eye. Big Rich probably has, you know, Big Rich probably backing up the dump truck. So are all the Spartans in Patreon. Just like, hey, you know, where is this going to be in 6 months? You listen to Toby. You know, I never get the share screen right on this one, baby. Like, you know, we have a lot of, I got smacked with the goddess sandal by going too quickly into requests, which we do, right? If you have requests and they're outside the box requests, we do that on the show. But I gotta let her download first. I mean, she gave it a Bitcoin upside target. Done. Like the tactical Bitcoin upside target. not the in 2 years. No. Hot Mess Express gets on the stream. So again, you know, I'm sort of repeating myself. You know, if you go to LuxAlgo, here's the gigantic dollar rally. Oh my God, it's huge. Where is it? Crypto's getting smashed 4%. Okay, so with ETH, okay, you hit the premium zone. I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. I knew it was there with the 13 top. You know, you don't know if ETH is going to consolidate sideways or how that's going to work out. Okay, now the funny thing with Bitcoin is Bitcoin's got all this DeMark working, all the premium zone and blah, 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 blah. And what's funny is LuxAlgo put a support shelf underneath Bitcoin right around 118. So we'll see, right? You know, if Michael Saylor bought a bunch of Bitcoin at 120 something, the dealers are all going to be on this support area buying whatever they can. I mean, everybody is all wound up about what exactly. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance got pretty stupid, right? It got pretty stupid, but, you know, you do have to remember that these kind of formations, right, especially since it's headed for the apex, you know, when you have formations like this, you know, as it approaches the apex, you know, like in theory, if this really does break out to the downside, like if there's a 3-day rally, a 3-day decline in alts or whatever, and this thing gets to its apex, this is like a waterfall formation, right? I mean, again, it can also go the other way. I get it. You know, Benjamin Cohn did a video about it. I'm sure, you know, the Bitcoin maximalist guys, you know, that's what they're thinking. But, you know, long Bitcoin, short the banks. This is Bank of America, which Warren Buffett sold relentlessly. I mean, he sold everything with gusto. You know, you have one of these formations. Interestingly enough, it broke out near the apex. It's retesting the apex. And one has to wonder, we're selling Bitcoin and these ninnies are going, this ninny stock and basically all the related stocks are going up. You got to be kidding me, right? Like that's just completely stupid. You know, and Uncle Sugar, now Uncle Sugar is doing the bigger the base, the higher in the space with Intel, because it's not like they actually exactly have their management together with these kind of gaps on earnings. Okay, so they're buying a bunch of Intel. Where's all that? Where's the Intel going? I mean, I guess are they just going to get on the board of directors and they're just going to own a bunch of stock? I mean, how are they going to get a share in Intel? They got to buy the stock, right? They got to buy the stock. And I have no idea why people don't think that that stock would go into sovereign wealth fund where they can buy the Bitcoin ETF. I mean, what are they going to have? One stock in the sovereign wealth fund? This is what I've been saying like the whole time. Honestly, it's like, wait a minute. You know, where's all this tariff money going to go? I mean, they're going to use it to blunt the federal deficit. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, they're spending like hundreds of billions of dollars per month. It's like, yeah, we took in 80 billion from tariffs. It's got to go into sovereign wealth fund. I mean, what are you going to do with it? You know, the orange man's going to print it, put in, print up the bills and put it in a warehouse. What are you going to do with that? It's got to go there. So Bessent's like, we're not buying Bitcoin. Okay. We're buying Intel instead. Whatever. Right. But I don't know. Part of me feels like as I'm talking about it, it's just another dumb move by sovereign. I mean, I get that we want to have security on chips. Okay. Right. You want to have monetary security. Now, the reason that they don't want to buy Bitcoin is because Bitcoin and crypto is a disruptor, right? Is a disruptor of a monetary system, right? In other words, there is a point where they can support crypto as an industry because they're long it through World Liberty Financial. But at the same time, they're afraid of Bitcoin. The Chinese are afraid of Monero. The Justice Department is afraid of Tornado Cash. Right? So, everyone's like, well, we like Bitcoin and we like crypto. Okay. Well, you like it, but that doesn't mean it can't disrupt you. Disrupt you, disrupt the banks, disrupt the currency, disrupt SWIFT, right? Disrupt the ability to do sanctions, right? So they don't want to own it. Okay. And they're not buying your bags. Okay. Well, that's a little unfortunate. On the other hand, because, power is going to change hands at some point, right? We're probably going to go from the orange man, and then we're going to go massively to the left, right? It's happening in New York City. It's happening in New York City. I mean, I know an artist who kind of rages on Instagram. I mean, this guy made a painting and paid his own money to have the painting driven around on the back of a truck, trying to get this guy who was in the Guardian Angels, right, elected as the mayor as an alternative. I mean, their alternative over there is a guy that participated in a flood of people into the city that shouldn't be there. And even if you don't say it that way, if they shouldn't be there or whether they should be there, there's nowhere to put them. So that turned New York City into I don't know how to say it, into a crime zone. I would use a different word, but it's like the battle for New York on the streets. And the other guy, wants to have state-run grocery stores, which is an admirable thing, but they don't work. Because when you suppress price, you don't get any supply, right? I mean, this is like economics 101. You need an equilibrium price where supply equals demand. If you suppress the price, okay, but there's no supply. People are like, yeah, okay, I'm selling to you at half price, whatever. Okay, so all this admirable stuff, it doesn't work. But people want it. People want it because they're suffering. Like college kids can't get jobs. Programmers are done. This is like low-end jobs, high-end jobs. It's going away, right? So this leaves people doing crypto in their basement, or it leads, people with money either inside this, inside the system going, oh my God, wait a minute. I am not doing this, right? I'm going to get the buy sell list. I'm going to get the sell list and I'm going to get in the buy list like it was my job, right? It's like, hey, people, listen. Sometimes, you can do the soft, awareness shill, for lack of a better term, or you can just tell people, on a down day, last night I got people selling. Today, shopping, as Toby would say, shopping, right? And, if you're not shopping when stuff's down, 6, 7, I mean, I think XRP today was down 7% at one point. That's crazy, right? But, again, it's not a bull market until you can buy a dip and make money. And if this thing goes down from anywhere from an afternoon to 3 days and you can buy a dip and make money, guess what, people? The bull market is on. If you want to have a 2021 dream, guess what? If this dip stops short at some point and it turns in an illiquid market, Katie bar the door. You're going to have a 3-week rally. Like whatever's gone on so far is like the warm up. And that's what I would focus on, not the red ink. Now, I'm not going to tell you who said that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, she'll give you the upside target. She'll look at the chart. The chart's down. She's like, I love it. I mean, folks, she's giving you the low caps, right? And it was like, oh my God, I missed the rally. No, you didn't. Stuff is down for the month. And of course, she's just like, oh yeah, that one. Okay, next banner bubbles page. 1, 2, 3, next. It's like a New York deli. Next. What's everyone doing? People like, oh my God, I missed the rally. And then it goes down. It's like, oh no, I can't touch it. No. You listen to Toby for like 10, 15 minutes. You'd be like, oh, okay. Now I understand. Right? It's different. Like when you hear it from Big Mouth, I don't know, maybe you're immune to Big Mouth, but when you hear like the soft sell, right? When you get like when you get the feminine version of this, you're like, oh, okay. Okay, let's welcome who's here. It's like we got a crowd today. Bull Runner first on the stream as usual. Philip Kohler, your bass is here. Hal Lopez. You realize that guy's up in the middle of the night in Portugal? Dude, wow. Forget about it. D-Gen Joe. Gion. I'm shopping. Dude. Big Rich. His name is Buck, and I don't. Right? Big Rich knows how to use the emojis too, folks, which you can get for $4.99. Cisco hitting the buy a button. DNT, a member. DC Precise. Live It is here. The numbers are bunk, bro. So true. Gian, DC Precise, JB, Sheepdog Nation. Right on, man. Abel, what's up? Lala, a new member. Tooth, a new member. What's happening? Rave saw a member. Abel Matthew. Chris Sosa, thoughts on bullish IPO. Dude, like I said, all the FOMO in crypto is in equities. What happens when you get the FOMO over here? Crazy. That's just crazy, right? They can't get enough of it over there. Like, oh my God, we're buying crypto. Most of crypto hasn't done anything. Nothing. Top 10, Abel Matthew, Daniel J. By the way, like I said, I had an article in here, which I can't find, that basically said most of crypto is like, share my processing power. And, 6-9 months from now, you're just going to need plain old AI that runs on a decentralized basis. Because whatever they're doing trying to build Skynet is indiscriminate, probably unsafe, and wrong. Other than that, it's great. You're going to need it decentralized. Right? Grandpa Keeter is here. The man. Welcome. Abel Matthew, Daniel J. What's up? Right? John Wick. Rules and consequences. Right on. Golden Basketballs is here. Mojo, Silas. Right on. Keaton Beckman, a new name. Still bullish on ski. Toby doesn't like ski. I think if memes come back, ski will come back. Although you need to know what the Gann model said about memes. I mean, that's the problem with the Gann model. It's like, I'm okay with the buy list. I wasn't okay with the neutral list. And some of these things that it wanted to sell, I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? I mean, it's, you know, that wasn't one of the coins, but like, okay, just read the report. Oh my God, FD White is here. You know, you're doing all right when other influencers are tuning in, and FD White is up next. You keep banging away, bro. You're doing it. Crypto Crazy Knowledge Dump. Welcome. Wrong again. Double bottom. Joseph Green from Brazil. Sir, welcome. Caroline Storyteller in the house. Right on. MJ Hits. Jav. Donato. Wow. We got a crowd in here today. People, listen. BTFD, crypto as a disruptor, privacy, long Bitcoin, short the banks, fiat is done, decentralized AI has not been traded at all, If you mix AI with other sectors, which, you know, Toby does, but I can't tell you that, and if you want buy, sell, or hold, or buy, sell, or fold, whatever, that is in Patreon. And if you want to know what the new Bitcoin upside target is, and you want to hear it, you know, a few decibels lower, then you know what to do. Get research when it's down. Don't get research when the herd comes in. Do it now. Okay, people, that is the market update for today. By the way, congratulations to not only us, but congratulations to the Eagle King, the best producer in the business, to Toby Ward, the most underrated analyst in the history of crypto, and of course, the Market Update Nation. We don't have a show if you don't watch it. So we appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.